You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, recovery efforts are underway in Nevada after a tornado barrels through yesterday morning.
Also, residents in Moundville, Missouri are reeling from the effects of yesterday's storms.
And more showers and thunderstorms on the way today. Thankfully, nothing like what we saw yesterday. Look at that forecast. Get you out the door. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. now on this Thursday, April the 3rd. Of course, yesterday, a very rough day for many folks across the 4 states. Unfortunately, we did have that tornado that tore through Moundville and into Nevada. And for those same folks, adding insult to injury this morning with additional showers and thunderstorms, but at least we're not expecting any severe weather. And we're going to go over what we are expecting because some strong storms are still possible, but first to that damage in the Nevada area.
One of the businesses that suffered extensive damage in Nevada was Nevada Oaks, where many Missouri Institute of Welding students live.
KOAM's Melissa Alexis was able to speak to the owner of the business and has more.
After a tornado hit Nevada, Missouri, a woman's future home and family business were destroyed.
I don't know, this is a shock.
Sherry Snyder is a resident of Nevada, Missouri, and she recently bought a new home, a home that happened to be destroyed by the tornado one day before her scheduled move-in day.
But we could see the house from one of our cameras, so we could already see on the camera that the house was destroyed. We just didn't know about the garage, couldn't really see it.
And she says she almost stayed the night at the home and says she's glad she didn't. One of the reasons she was moving to the home is to be close to her family business, which is just a few feet away from the home. The family business is called Nevada Oaks, where Missouri Welding Institute students live.
I thought, well, this would be nice to live over here for a good 9 months so I could be closer to my dad and be here to run, the place for him.
She says the business is her and her dad's pride and joy.
My dad and I, we love the welding students. My dad, we eat, sleep, and breathe this place, so we're here all the time. Other family members are here and work here, and that's the sad part. We've all bonded and had a really good time doing this together.
Snyder says she hopes she can rebuild both the home and Nevada Oaks. But for now, she's still in a state of shock.
I'm not sure what the next steps are going to be. I think everybody's just in shock right now, and when that wears off, we'll probably sit down and discuss as a family of what to do next.
And now she says she's just happy her welding students are safe. Reporting in Nevada, I'm Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Snyder says the only person she's aware of who suffered injuries is a maintenance man for Nevada Oaks.
Fortunately, we didn't have any fatalities in our area. Of course, this severe weather outbreak intensified off to our east, but still, even in our area, very intense. And I think the other thing was the timing is where you don't traditionally see intense storms like that early in the morning. We see it in the evening, but not that early, and so just kind of a bit of a chaotic situation. And unfortunately for folks doing the cleanup, as I mentioned, we have more showers and storms on the way today. We're going to start with that live look downtown Pittsburgh. You can see we got the cloudy skies out there. Roads still look dry because on the Skywatch Storm Tracker we have showers, but not necessarily seeing that rain reaching the ground yet. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin also looking dry, but you can see where we've got the rain reflectivity reaching up to Nevada, but the bulk of the rain that's actually falling is across northeastern Oklahoma right now and into parts of southeastern Kansas where we're getting some heavier returns there. But you see those lightning strikes as well. That's the problem. While we're not anticipating any kind of significant severe weather today, we do have a thunderstorm chance across the entire area, and that will include Moundville, Nevada, where you're out there doing the cleanup. So I want to emphasize too, the storm, of course, does not have to be strong or severe for the lightning to be dangerous or potentially deadly. If you're out there doing cleanup, you've got to pay very close attention to what's rolling through because you do not want to be caught out there at the wrong time in the wrong situation with some of these storms today. So here's a look at this. We've got additional showers and storms off to our south, and you can see we do have some severe thunderstorm warning now southwest of Fort Smith. So outside of our area, but we could get some stronger storms south of I-44 that could bring at least some small hail. Right now, that is the only area that we have. We have a bigger severe situation situation across Arkansas today into tomorrow. And we're going to be on the very northern edges of that. And so that's why at least this low hail risk is reaching into parts of our area. But again, we're going to have thunderstorms across virtually the entire region as we go through the morning into the afternoon hours. Now, some of our northwestern counties may get breaks in the rain, maybe not in the clouds, but with those rain breaks, you might get a little warmer than everyone else. Majority of us, though, just kind of hanging out in the 50s. We're in the 50s now, so temperature's not expected to move too much. 52 in Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh. Across the region, those temperatures got one upper 40 at least, 49 in Stockton. The majority of us now in the low to mid 50s, and some of us, we're going to hit our highs a little early and then kind of just hang in the low to mid 50s with those scattered showers and storms. We do have a slightly higher risk for some strong to low grade severe storms tomorrow. We'll go over those details and the weekend forecast with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. 4 staters begin the long process of assessing yesterday morning's storm damage, salvaging what they can and cleaning up their communities. It appears much of the damage is from a single tornado that swept through parts of 2 states. It touched down in the area of Arma and Arcadia in southeast Kansas around 7:12 yesterday morning. It remained on the ground as it crossed into Missouri, moving into the Moundville and Nevada area before finally leaving Vernon County just before 8 a.m. Despite the devastation, no serious injuries have been reported. There appears to be much less damage in the area of Arma and Arcadia, where the tornado apparently first touched down. Residents in that area tell us they heard the tornado pass and took shelter. There are some homes and businesses with damage.
Woke up around 7:20 this morning to alarms going off in Arcadia, and we can hear them, and we're about 3 miles outside the city limits, and I could hear them, and we could also hear a sound I've never heard, having lived in Kansas most of my life. It was a very, very scary sound and a very still in the area. I immediately ran in my basement and started contacting the neighbors.
Got my daughter up, getting her ready for school. Heard Doug Hetty come on the TV when I turned it on, saying that at that point it was in Arma, and we took shelter in the bathroom. It was coming our way, and when it got here, it's like the house started shaking. Really, honestly, I thought to have more damage than this. When I came out and looked, it sounds bad, but pleasantly surprised.
At the time of our interview, Irwin was still without power, but says he's grateful he only had minor damages. The storm also tore through the town of Moundville. Residents there are beginning the process of recovery, and as KOAM's Anthony Saviello reports, some have gone out of their way to help make that process easier.
It was really loud and scary and not a pleasant experience, but I was very thankful to come out of it the way I did. Coming out was the first time it hit me emotionally. Everyone knows the station in Moundville, and when I looked to my left and saw it was gone, the first thing I did was went and found Craig and made sure he was okay.
The only gas station in the small town of Moundville leveled, and it's only a glimpse of the devastation throughout the entire town.
When I was walking around earlier, there's over 30 houses that are missing roofs. I don't know if you know or not, but the post office is damaged. So it is being closed down and moved to Bernal. So any Moundville people, you're going to have to go to Bernal to pick up your mail. There's no mail in Moundville right now. Had to go to Bernal.
Despite the postal inconvenience and the damage done, no injuries were reported, and the focus now shifts to rebuilding.
I'm not sure what that rebuild looks like. But we're off to a good start on the cleanup process.
And with the help of others.
It's just a beautiful thing to know that people can kind of set their lives aside. Everybody's got problems, right? So we only know, God only knows what everybody's going through, but yet they set that aside to come out and help people because they're in need. That is the beauty of being in a small town too.
I live east of Moundville. I'm just coming up, helping out. There's a huge need. Everybody's trees are down. You know, we all work together, and then it gets done a little bit faster, so.
All of these people are volunteers. They just live in the local area, and they show up, and they have equipment, and we're cleaning the streets, making the streets where they're passable. And people don't even know who they're helping, but yet they got chainsaws and they're out there doing it, and equipment's moving it. And when a community comes together, you don't really have to ask.
That process can begin. In Moundville, Missouri, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
On top of all the community help, MoDOT, Missouri Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Office, and the Red Cross have come through Moundville to provide assistance. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, we'll hear about the effects of the chronic skin condition of rosacea. And later, doctors across the nation are asking for your help for the National Donate a Life Month. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. But first, here's a live look from Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. It's a chronic skin condition that you may not be aware of. Dr. Towery with the U.S. Dermatology Partners is with us this morning to share more information on the chronic condition of rosacea. Good morning, Dr. Towery. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about what is rosacea for those who may not know?
Well, rosacea is a chronic skin condition, usually starts around ages 30 to 60. Typical symptoms are kind of easy flushing, red cheeks, eventually developing little pimples and pustules on the cheeks and nose.
Amazing. So what are some of the causes for rosacea?
Well, primarily rosacea, there's a genetic predisposition, so genetics is a big part of it. The microbial environment on our skin makes a difference. There's a mite that lives on our skin called Demodex that we know triggers the inflammation of rosacea. And then there's other triggers that that will make it flare. Drinking alcohol, hot and spicy foods, hot temperatures, anything that kind of makes you flush will make your rosacea flare.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about what can kind of make it flare up a little bit. Are there any sort of treatments for rosacea that people could maybe consider?
Yeah, for one, obviously avoiding the triggers would be the first thing. But then we have topical medications, we have topical antibiotics, some non-antibiotic topicals that also kind of relieve that inflammation, take the redness out. And then for more severe cases, then we'll put them on oral antibiotics as well.
Same. So how common is rosacea?
Very common. They say over 14 million people in the United States have it, about 5% of the population. More common in North Europeans, Scandinavians, people with fair skin, light hair are more typical to get it.
So are there different kinds of rosacea that somebody might have?
Absolutely. Some people will just get the redness or the flushing. You can get what's called telangiectatic rosacea, where it's just small little blood vessels on your cheeks. And then the papular rosacea, where you get pimples and pustules. And then the more severe forms, you get the thickening of the nose, the rhinophyma noses, the people that have the bigger kind of sebaceous noses. That's a form of rosacea as well.
Now, if somebody is at home watching and they're hearing you kind of describe what rosacea looks like, what some of those symptoms look like, and they think, I might have that, what should their next steps be?
Talk to their primary care physician or call the dermatology office. They can call our office. We certainly have treatments that are available that can relieve those symptoms for them. There's no cure. We can't cure it, but we can certainly put them on medications that would control it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Towery, once again for joining us this morning. If you would like to learn more about rosacea, you can visit the website usdermatologypartners.com. You can learn more information there as well.
Yes.
We'll have more news and weather when we come back.
Welcome back, excuse me, to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up on 7:18 on this Thursday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, starting to see a few more of these showers that are actually reaching the ground out there, especially into Cherokee County, down south across northeastern Oklahoma and extreme southwest Missouri. We have a few heavier showers entering into Elk County out there as well. So here's just a look at some of those showers. Again, nothing crazy out there this morning. So Columbus, Chautauqua, Baxter Springs, Oswego getting into some of this. You go back down to northeastern Oklahoma, Miami, Fairland, Grove, Bonita, Nowata, Bartlesville, all getting in on showers out there. Now, the other thing we're looking at is eventually we'll see some thunderstorm activity. We've had some lightning with some of these storms in northeastern Oklahoma, as you can see, and we'll get a bit more. You can see some lightning around these storms now south of Oklahoma City. The good news is we're not looking at anything quite like yesterday. I know there's that severe thunderstorm warning there. That's to the southwest of Fort Smith. We are not going to see anything too crazy, but we could have some stronger storms with small hail, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We have flood watches in our southern counties through at least Sunday. Some heavier rain expected, but you can see the bulk of the flood watches stay off to our south and east, where even heavier rainfall is expected out there. So here's what we're looking at for today. Along and south of I-44, we have a risk for some small hail, so maybe a strong storm or two out there. That risk is so far limited there. What we have is today and tomorrow to our south, primarily across the state of Arkansas, there is a higher severe threat and even the potential down there even today for a strong tornado or two. We're right on the northern edges of that. So that's why at least today we have that low hail risk. The thing is, tomorrow we want to keep a close eye on as well, because we do have this low to elevated hail threat across a broader portion of the area. And yes, just barely clipping us is a tornado risk out there, and same with the wind risk into Benton County, because again, the more significant threats to our south and east. But we'll keep an eye on this in case any of this does change, because just yesterday, this hail risk for tomorrow was a little further south and east, so it's come back up a bit to the northwest. So we'll keep a very close eye on that for you. Now, through today and into tomorrow, anybody that's out there doing any cleanup or recovery work around the Moundville and the Veda areas that were impacted by that tornado yesterday, you've got to be extra cautious, because even though it's unlikely you'll see any severe weather, you could see thunderstorms, and that'll bring lightning, and that lightning is dangerous and deadly whether the storm is severe or not. So you've got to make sure you're paying very close attention to the weather around you. If you are outside doing recovery work, you want to make sure that you are cautious and that you have a place to go in case a heavier thunderstorm does roll in. Now, our northwestern counties through today might get a few breaks in the showers, not necessarily in the clouds, but at least in the showers. That might allow some of you to go a little warmer than the rest of us, but otherwise we're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. They'll begin to ease up a little overnight, so maybe an isolated shower or rumble of thunder, but then towards tomorrow morning, as the KOM Morning News gets started again, we'll see additional showers and thunderstorms out there, and as you can see, we get heavier thunderstorm returns, especially in that zone that we saw that was highlighted for that low to elevated hail risk. We do have some that could get outside of that range. That's why we want to keep an eye on tomorrow. Again, nothing like what we saw yesterday. I want to emphasize that. But some strong, possibly low-grade severe storms possible through the morning, and again, especially into the afternoon hours across the region. Those will continue till we get a break eventually by Friday night. And we go into Saturday, we start dry, but by about 8, 9 o'clock, additional showers and thunderstorms for the first half of our Saturday. Again, no severe weather expected whatsoever at this point on Saturday. Again, mid-50s for most of us today, upper 50s, some low 60s tomorrow, winds gusting to 25 today and tonight, and then to 20 tomorrow. A few more showers and storms Saturday through Sunday morning, and then we'll dry out and warm up a bit next week. A few isolated showers next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Tuesday kicked off the beginning of National Donate Life Month, and doctors say many people are already in a position to help save a life.
Gary Baumgarten has more in New York.
Doctors of patients in need of a kidney often hear similar concerns.
One, am I going to die with a kidney failure, right? And what is the quality of my life is going to be?
Now, doctors like A.J. Fakir at The Ohio State University are asking for help during National Donate Life Month this April.
Organ donation is important because it can truly replace a kidney failure with a new kidney that works.
Donate Life America says 100,000 people are on the U.S. organ transplant list, while 90,000 are in need of a kidney transplant.
All the data shows the patient with a kidney failure on dialysis actually has 2.5 times greater mortality than all the cancer combined.
Living transplants, which is when a healthy person donates a kidney, have a high chance of success to help save a person's life.
Because it comes from a very healthy person, the quality of that kidney is very good, and it lasts much longer for the person who is receiving it.
Fakir says there is currently only a small number of living transplant participants.
The sad thing is that we have just about 49 people out of 1 million eligible donor donate.
For people unsure about the risks of donation surgery, Fakir says there is nothing to fear.
Living donation kidney surgery itself is very safe. Most of the people actually get out of the hospital on day 2 or day 3 of the surgery.
Fakir also says the donation surgery does not have any out-of-pocket expenses, and the Transplantation Society could cover any loss of wages or traveling costs. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
It's really important.
I mean, there's so many ways you can help. I know I'm signed up as a stem cell and marrow donor if that need ever came up for somebody. So.
All right, see, there you go. I don't know if my organs would be any good. I've had a little too much Coke and Pepsi over the years. I mean, Coca-Cola and Pepsi over the years. But still, it's still an important thing to do. And I mean, if you can help save a life in some way, somehow, make sure that you do.
Definitely. Well, coming up, Planned Parenthood took their fight to be a part of the part of Medicaid to the Supreme Court. We'll have the latest from Capitol Hill.
And we have those shower and thunderstorm chances. Rain now falling, as you can see, in Pittsburgh. The latest when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Samantha Walker. As storms rolled through our area yesterday morning, authorities in Joplin responded to reports of a crash involving 3 cars at 7th and Joplin. One of the vehicles crashed into the front of the community clinic building. 2 of the vehicles had to be towed. One was able to drive from the scene. You can find more details on our website as they become available. Authorities in Seneca, Missouri responded to reports of a fire early yesterday morning. Multiple agencies arrived to find a fire at the former veterinary clinic at Highway 43 and Kentucky Road. Crews found 2 other buildings were fully involved. There are no reported injuries. The veterinary clinic closed a number of years ago. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. KOAM had planned to hold our Hero Fund USA telethon yesterday during our noon and 5 and 6 p.m. newscasts to help raise money for area first responders. But because of our storm coverage, that telethon is postponed. We'll let you know when we reschedule it. Now let's check in with Chris Warner with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got some showers starting to fall now in the Pittsburgh area. You can see our camera. The roads are wet, and of course, skies are cloudy. And we'll have scattered showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms throughout the day today. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. We got those cloudy skies as well, and rain continuing to build across the area, which we can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not seeing any lightning now with this activity, but we've had lightnings. We've had some rumbles of thunder out there. And for those who, again, are doing cleanup in the areas impacted by the tornado yesterday, you got to pay close attention. I know the rain is already adding insult to injury here, but lightning, the storm doesn't have to be strong or severe for the lightning to be dangerous and deadly. So you need to pay close attention while you're out there. You do not want to be caught off guard. You want to make sure you have a shelter or a place to go to if you get a slightly heavier thunderstorm or get some lightning. See more lightning across northwestern Arkansas out there, and in fact even some severe thunderstorms. We had a warning with this cell. It's kind of weakening now south of Fort Smith, and you can see more development taking place back toward Oklahoma City along the Will Rogers Turnpike heading up our way. So with that said, we do have a low risk for some small hail, maybe a strong storm or 2, primarily south of I-44. This is associated with a larger severe weather risk across Arkansas and to our southeast today and tomorrow. And so we're going to be on the northern fringes of it. And we do have a slightly higher risk for some stronger storms tomorrow, which we'll go over in a little bit. Through today, again, we'll have the mostly cloudy skies. We'll have scattered showers and storms. Some of our northwestern counties, you may have breaks in the rain, so you might get a little warmer than everybody else, but the majority of us spend the day in the low to mid 50s. 52 in Joplin, 57 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, the majority of us are in the low mid 50s. We've got some upper 50s, and we still have Stockton as the cold spot there, sitting at 47. Highs again today, mid to upper 50s for some, and then otherwise we're just going to hover in the low 50s. We'll drop back through the 40s by this evening, again with those scattered showers and storms. As I mentioned, we do have a risk for some strong, potentially low-grade severe storms tomorrow. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. The Supreme Court heard oral arguments in a case which could have wider ramifications for abortion access across the nation. Justices are weighing if states can exclude Planned Parenthood from Medicaid funds because of its abortion services. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from Washington.
Dozens of protesters gather on the steps of the Supreme Court to rally for Planned Parenthood. Inside, justices heard oral arguments about South Carolina's attempt to remove the organization's clinics from its Medicaid program because it offers abortion services.
Our fundamental fundamental right to health care should not be up for debate. Stop playing politics with our lives.
Supporters argue defunding Planned Parenthood will hurt low-income patients in the state, many who have had trouble finding a doctor that will accept publicly funded insurance. Critics say federal law prohibits Medicaid dollars from being used for abortions in most cases. They also argue South Carolina currently bans abortions at 6 weeks.
It's not a question of whether abortions are right or wrong or to what extent. It's a question of who has to pay for it. And those people who do not want to pay for it for this particular thing should not have to.
Inside, justices appeared divided, expressing concern on whether low-income Medicaid patients can sue in order to choose their own health care not related to abortion, as Planned Parenthood also provides a range of medical services. Attorneys for South Carolina say they feel confident the justices will rule in their favor.
We felt very good about how the argument went today. The justices seemed to get the point that we were making, which is that Congress creates rights enforceable in federal court only when it uses clear, explicit language in a statute, and that the provision we're talking about today simply doesn't have that.
In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, trouble in Washington as Elon Musk and Doge make claims of fraud within the Department of Social Security. We'll have the latest. But before we head to break, here's a live look from Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. In Consumer Watch this morning, TikTok is almost out of time to find a buyer. Again, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is on the hook to sell the app's U.S. operations by Saturday, April 5th, or face a ban in the United States. This after President Donald Trump extended the deadline in January. There are several potential buyers, including a group led by billionaire former Los Angeles Dodgers owner Frank McCourt and Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. U.S. lawmakers have long been concerned that TikTok poses a national security threat. Employment opportunities in the U.S. are down. The number of job openings fell to 7.57 million in February. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics job openings and labor turnover survey just released. At the beginning of the year, the number of available jobs was 7.76 million. U.S. employers likely pared back on their hiring plans in February, due in part to heightened economic uncertainty. Social Security, the latest target of Doge's push to significantly cut down government spending. Elon Musk claims they've uncovered extensive fraud, but Democrats say he's trying to dismantle the agency altogether. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency shifting its focus to one of the biggest drivers of government spending, Social Security. Musk claims his team is uncovering billions of dollars worth of waste and fraud. Their latest warning comes over millions of non-citizens allegedly receiving Social Security numbers.
We're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24.
But that's not necessarily evidence of payments. Non-citizens who are authorized to work in the U.S. receive Social Security numbers for tax purposes, a policy that started under the first Trump administration. A 2024 audit found $72 billion in improper payments over a 7-year period. Well, that sounds like a lot. It's less than 1% of the benefits the agency paid out over that time, and many payments labeled improper were later adjusted. Doge can't touch Social Security payments without the approval of Congress, but they have reduced agency staffing and implemented abrupt rule changes, like requiring recipients to visit Social Security offices in person to prove their identity.
I would rather go in if I had a ride to go there, and I don't know how to even go on the internet. I don't even know how to hook it up.
The cuts reportedly resulting in website crashes and longer wait times on the phone. Democrats say Musk is acting recklessly, and they want him to come to Capitol Hill to testify.
We really need Elon Musk to come before Congress and have a real open conversation about what he's doing.
Musk has stated his goal is to cut $1 trillion in federal spending. At the White House, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:43 on this Thursday morning. Starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker, getting more rain showers across the entire region. You can see them across southeastern Kansas, just outside of Eureka, rolling into Yates Center and Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada. On the Missouri side, some heavier showers now down along and south of I-44 and into Cherokee County, Crawford County in Kansas, and even heavier showers. We've even had some thunderstorm activity down into northeastern Oklahoma, and a pretty heavy shower getting ready to roll into Jay. All of this is part of the complex that will continue to give us scattered showers and thunderstorms. And if you look on the loop, you'll see some of the lightning from time to time with these storms, which is again a reminder for those impacted by the tornado yesterday morning. If you're out there doing any kind of cleanup recovery work, it is essential you pay very close attention to the weather, because while we're not anticipating severe weather today, lightning is still dangerous, still deadly with any storm. So you want to make sure you've got a place to go if you get a heavier thunderstorm roll into your area or you start to see lightning or hear thunder in the distance. All of this, though, is part of this bigger batch of shower storms that stretches all the way back down into Texas. There's been some severe weather to our south, and that's where it's expected to remain, but we will continue to see scattered showers and storms through the day. We also have flood watches for 3 of our southern counties through about Saturday night into Sunday morning. The bulk of it off to our east, where some heavier rain is expected over the next couple of days. Now, I want to talk about this too. There's a greater severe threat across Arkansas, but we're going to be on the very northern fringes of it the next couple of days. So, with that said, we do have a low hail risk, really along and south of I-44, so we could get a strong storm or two with some small hail, something we'll monitor. Of course, if any of this changes, we'll certainly let you know. But again, the greater severe threat is expected to our south and east. Now, it will remain that way tomorrow, but it gets a little closer to home. So we do have a low to elevated hail threat as we head into Friday with some of those thunderstorm chances out there. And there's a tornado threat just barely clipping us. Same with the wind threat as well. But if any of that changes either, we'll certainly let you know. This outlook for tomorrow won't update again until around 12:30. So it'll be a little bit before we have new information. But hopefully it remains just this way, or even better, that severe threat goes away. But it is something we'll need to keep an eye on. Here's what we're looking at on the future track. Again, some of our northwestern counties, you may get some breaks in the rain, and that will allow you to maybe get a little warmer, upper 50s, maybe even some low 60s. The rest of us just hanging out right around the low to mid 50s. Scattered showers, storms out there. They'll become a little more isolated as we go late evening and overnight, and then we turn into tomorrow morning and they pick right back up again. And we could see some stronger storms in the morning hours, mainly along and south of I-44 in roughly that same zone we just showed you for the severe threat. We could see those storms continuing into the afternoon as well. Maybe another round of some stronger storms again in our southern counties as we head into the afternoon hours as well. So we want to watch it very closely. But again, anybody doing any kind of outdoor work, this just doesn't help that you've got to deal with this rain the next couple of days, but you also have got to watch out for any lightning with any thunderstorm activity. That continues into Friday evening. We start to clear out overnight. It's a brief clearing as we head into Saturday morning. Showers, storms return. No severe weather expected with this activity at this point. Remember, just a little too chilly. It clears out by about 1, 2 o'clock. We're just left with mostly cloudy skies out there. Going through the morning, as you can see, roads already wet out there, getting those showers in. Scattered showers, some thunderstorms hanging out, low to mid 50s for most of us. And we're looking at those highs, again, for most of us, about the mid 50s. Northwestern counties could get a little warmer. A little warmer tomorrow. It is also why we have a slightly higher risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms. We're going to be a little milder up there. Then we'll have continuing showered storm chances through Sunday morning. Saturday night, it gets cold enough. If the rain continues, we could see a brief transition to snow showers. Nothing significant there, but just another wild curveball this week. We start to clear out, dry out, and warm up as we head into next week. Maybe an isolated shower or two on Wednesday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Rancho Seco Recreational Park in California has gone to the dogs, but in a good way. The canines are helping to prevent the spread of golden mussels at the waterway.
Now, before you go in the water at Rancho Seco Lake, you need to let a dog sniff your boat. Esteban Reynoso explains.
This is the first boat launch in Rancho Seco. So far, it's been untouched by the golden mussel, and now canines are being used to make sure that it stays that way. Fighting an invasion out on the water. Splash and Minot are two of Debbie Deshawn's 16 dogs on her team.
Dogs, in their mind, they're literally playing a huge game of hide and seek.
She's the pack leader of muscle dogs that specialize in mussel detection, the newest tool in fending off invasive species on our waterways.
The dogs are trained on the quagga mussels, zebra mussels, and the golden mussels. The golden mussels is the newest one in our area.
Despite its name, the golden mussel is not native to the Golden State.
Once they're in the lake, you can't get rid of them. So then you have the whole infestation, and then they're clogging our pipes, and our water's not able to move.
The California Department of Fish and Wildlife says the mussel native to Asia are now spreading through delta waterways, harming native species and water clarity. This, on top of being almost undetectable, attaching itself to boats and kayaks, is what makes them so hard to catch. That's where Splash and Minot come in. Deshawn says they can smell the golden mussel's larvae.
We teach them to go find their ball in a box and to sit or stare or what have you. And then what we do is we just pair the odor with the ball.
Most of her trained dogs are rescues, and throughout the summertime when it gets busy, all of them will be at different parts of the state, stopping this invasive mussel with their nose.
This is the down season, so they're all super happy. They're like, yeah, let me go.
Deshawn and her team will be out here for the next at least 2 more months to make sure that every vessel that goes into the water is golden mussel free. She says that now she'll work on training park staff so that they know what to look for.
I just love when dogs have like all these, special little jobs that they're super qualified for.
They do have some very unique talents, to say the least. They're very trainable to do some very fascinating things from a number of different careers and positions.
And they're adorable when they do it.
They certainly can be, absolutely. We've got showers out there again this morning. Again, for those cleaning up following the tornado yesterday, you've got to be aware not only is it going to rain on you, but we could get thunderstorms. We already have some heavier rain rolling into the area right now, and it will continue to push on through. Now, there is a chance of a strong storm or two south of I-44 that could bring some small hail, but that's the worst of it for today. We'll just be dealing with thunderstorms. So again, if you're out doing any cleanup, remember the lightning is still dangerous, still deadly, whether the storm is severe or not. So you've got to be paying close attention to that. Flood watches, 3 of our southern counties. Most of that is off to our south and east. In fact, the reason we have our severe, even a low severe threat today and tomorrow is because of a greater severe threat across Arkansas. So again, small hail possible today south of I-44. We're keeping an eye on tomorrow's storms. We have a low to elevated risk for hail out there. And you can see a tornado threat barely clipping us. Same with that wind threat. So something we'll certainly want to keep an eye on. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Nevada residents are recovering from the effects of yesterday's tornado. City Manager Gary Edwards says it's too early to estimate damage, but it appears to be substantial. The tornado appeared to hop and the damage was severe in multiple locations. He says the community center is open to storm victims. Moundville is another community dealing with damage. Residents spent the day cleaning up the damage done to homes and businesses. Many buildings had their roofs stripped away, and the iconic Moundville gas station is nothing but rubble. On the other side of all of this devastation, there are people doing what they can to provide relief to those affected. KOM had planned to hold our Hero Fund USA telethon yesterday during our noon, 5 and 6 p.m. newscast to help raise money for area first responders. But because of our storm coverage, that telethon is postponed. We'll let you know when we reschedule it.
And we have more showers and storms today. Could see some small hail south of I-44, otherwise breezy. And those that are cleaning up following the tornado, again, I want to emphasize you've got to watch out for that lightning. Severe storms aside, lightning's dangerous, deadly. Make sure you've got a place to go if a thunderstorm rolls in on you out there. Shower storms continue through the evening, a bit more isolated overnight, back down to the 40s. We'll see more showers and storms tomorrow. We do have a risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms, with hail still as the primary concern. Upper 50s, cool through the weekend, still wet out there, warming up next week, and maybe a couple of showers next Wednesday.
Thank you, Chris. Well, bodega cats are common fixtures at many stores and delis in New York City. The friendly felines often attract people off the street, while also helping to keep the stores clean.
Now, under New York state law, owners could face fines for having cats in buildings where food is sold. But a petition on social media is attempting to allow bodegas to keep their companions. And of course, we have, feline cafes and such around our area.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can figure out a way to make that work in New York. It's New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, and I think these cats could probably make it.
Definitely. I mean, I love seeing cats anywhere I can, like in bookshops, and cat cafes are no different.
Cats are cool. I like cats. Well, we'll continue to monitor showers and storms through the morning and, of course, tomorrow, and we'll see you again today at noon with more news and more weather.
Have a great rest of your morning.